Yo, yo, what's up? Only C, how you doing, bro? How'd this morning go? Was at work, took a setup, got stopped out my one tick, and then price. Oh, no. I hate that, man. I caught I caught all of this. Um, just I had one. I was on one micro. Um, I was in this setup up here essentially. So I had a setup up here. This is like the weekly high, and I don't know. I think I must have entered around here with my stop up here. Just one micro contract, but woke up and checked like on my phone, remote connected to my computer, and saw that it was all the way down here and just closed it. I wish I would have done it with more accounts. Yeah, I caught that drop. It was pretty insane. And then I was sleeping for all of this. I was up late again. Um, I mean, I'm doing some pretty cool stuff, and it just requires a shit ton of time. Is what it comes down to. Um, I'll 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 show you kind of what I've been working on here. Let me get this thing running real quick. So I updated my sheet, like my battle map for the day, and it's taken quite a bit of work to get it where it is. Let me see if it's correct now. I'll probably rerun it again because it's not calculating the overnight session. That's kind of the only thing that's wrong right now. Yo, what's up, Iger? Work on my support and resistance starter guy. I've lost 3 times in a row. Hopefully it's just drawback though. Oh man, this is not looking good. I thought this was going to be a bounce play, looking like I could potentially lose this trade, but that's okay. It's on my setup, so I'm taking it. You took it from 870. Oh, short. You took long, I took short. Took it from 870. Nice short, bro. Hopefully I can get a bounce back up here, and you can take your profit. I was looking at this big buyer here, causing this big move up, and then I had this long setup here. It might not be valid though. I was looking at this breakage structure right here that we had, thinking we're coming back here and then we're gonna bounce, but looking like we got a lot of selling pressure. So let's see. But essentially, what I was working on last night. So here, you guys check this out. I actually got it up now. The only thing that's incorrect on this is the overnight session, and that's what I'm working on fixing right now. But everything else should be correct. So you guys let me know if you see anything. So go to TraderDieX.com and you should see the most recent battle map. And so here's what I was working on last night is that anytime one of these setups, anytime price gets into one of these zones, I have this running in the background that's essentially checking, like it's being fed data every minute. And if it has the correct signatures while in or around this zone, it's looking for, cumulative volume delta. Basically, it's just looking for, depending on the setup, I've kind of adjusted to look for different things for different setups. And so once it kind of pre-qualifies for a setup, then it runs it for like a deep analysis on what price action is doing in here. And then eventually, if everything looks good, it'll give me the green light to enter. So I could eventually potentially turn this into an automated strategy based on order flow, which I think would be really cool, because now I have an automated strategy that's not just based on like mechanical stuff that's not context aware. So, in any case, I'm working on this right now. So, this is essentially just monitoring price action data or order flow data. And if things look right, it'll give me a green light. And these are the same exact setups that you see there on that battle map. Long here or knife catch. Yeah, I mean, I took a long here, Hogwarts. I got my stop down here. Not only was it part of my data to potentially take a long here, but this big buyer here is what caused this drive up. So I was anticipating that we were going to come back, leave these guys intact, and then drive back up. That's not what happened. So I don't know. I lost a little bit of faith once we broke these lows right here. But Hogwarts, check out that TraderDieX.com and look at that battle map there. I was just talking about how I was up late working on creating this, and then my kind of automated watchdog system where it's looking for these areas to enter in, and then it's watching order flow as well. So pretty stoked about that because, like I said, I could turn this into an automated strategy. Oh, also another thing that it's doing is it's tracking here. It's tracking the setups, the signals, and the win rates. So it's also able to learn. So let's say that I'm taking like a overnight low sweep here, and I get stopped out, let's say by like 5 points, and then it moves in the right direction. It's also tracking, let's say I get stopped out here. Well, number one, it's tracking if I get stopped out. It's tracking if TP1 gets hit, and also if TP2 gets hit. But it'll also track if I get stopped out, and then it goes to hit take profit, so that it'll adjust the stop losses that I'm given for these setups. And or the requirements in here. Man, it's so annoying. I went through this big hassle so I can stream on YouTube too, because I play licensed music. I can't stream on YouTube. So anyway, I went through the hassle of creating this, like, I stream everything to Twitch and Kick, and then I remove the music audio and play different music to YouTube that's like not licensed, just so I can just stream to YouTube. I mean, it's all the same to me. I just hit a button, I go live, and then it's like I'll stream everywhere. But YouTube, like, man, it's so annoying. They gave me like a copyright, licensed music warning yesterday after going through all this trouble, and I'm like, it's bullshit. Like I was playing Stream Beats, which is like all unlicensed. Dude, YouTube is so annoying. Anyway, so let's see what happens. I think I'm streaming to them right now, but they'll probably ban me from streaming for a week if that music strike holds. Yep. I'm streaming there right now. Let's see what happens. Bummer here. It just kind of looks like we are driving down. Looks like a stop out could be likely here. You can see we have a divergence on cumulative volume delta here. Let me just highlight this while this is going down. basically, basically we got more selling happening over here, or sorry, more selling happening over here, less selling happening over here, but selling is more responsive over here. Yeah, that's a bummer, Iger. Yeah, I mean, it's looking like a nice short here for you. Looks like I'm potentially offsides here. Yeah, I haven't either. Holy shit. I mean, I guess we shouldn't be surprised considering what happened with NQ here. Yeah, just a big dump. Damn. Yeah, looking like we're breaking down here. Went short overnight on Bitcoin and Ethereum, closed prematurely during New York Open today and gave back all profits. Knife catching. Ah, damn. Patiently waiting to gamble. It's not looking good. Ah, man. Sorry, Real Spook. Sorry to hear that, brother. What do we got? We got about an hour until news. Yeah, life as a trader. Yep. Yeah, always dealing with risk versus reward. And yeah, after having a nice morning, you know, catching trying to catch those falling knives. So, it's just, it sucks. I've been there, man. I understand how it goes. You just you dig into those profits. $790. How many funded accounts have you run through approximately in my life as a trader? Hundreds for sure. Oh wait, funded accounts. Hmm. Like, let me think. Maybe like 30 or something like that. No, probably more, because when I was copy trade, no, definitely more than 30, because when I was copy trading, I would do like 20 at a time. Yeah, hundreds of evals for sure, but like as it relates to funded accounts, like I would go through like I would have 20 accounts copy trading and I would blow those. And that's happened multiple times. And then I've had, groups of 5 funded accounts at a time that I would blow through. So probably hundreds of funded accounts as well. Yep. Yeah. So my nightmare story is, when I had 20 accounts copy trading, $3,500 of profit in each, ready for a payout. And then I blew all of them in one day. So that was $70,000 worth of profit in one day. Yeah, I know, man. It was terrible. It was a big lesson for me, to just, not try and rush the process, and to after that is when I really started considering rotating accounts instead of copying all of them. I think you can be successful copy trading your accounts. You just got to be careful. You got to be careful. And if you got 20 accounts on the line, you just have to have everything in place to prevent you from tilting, so that if you do end up tilting, you have a backstop to catch you. Uh, I've slowed down since then for sure. You know, I think what ends up happening when you trade is you will kind of naturally throttle yourself. You'll have times where you're not trading enough, you're trading too small, and then you'll have times where you're trading too big, too much at risk at one time. And, you know, once you have a couple big blowouts, you make adjustments. When I first started trading and I had my own personal funded, live funded account, I would usually like fund my account with, I don't know, maybe like $4,000 to $5,000 each time. And I would have times when I would just blow that so fast, like in a day or two. And those are like, oh my God, are you kidding me? I just lost 5 G's, not like sim money, of real money in like a day or two. It was terrible. Monster, bro, I swear this fucking platform I'm using to trade is watching me. Predicting markets for a while. They added prediction markets. I was trading oil for a while. They removed crude and split it up into multiple types of oil. I've been trying to trade NQ recently. Just now they removed the trade limit on NQ and added up to 50x. Oh, geez. Be careful with that. I don't even know. I don't even know. Just be careful with that leverage. Why was I up so late? Oh man, I was plugged into the matrix, dude. I I was working on this new sheet, so check it out. Working on that, and then I was explaining this earlier. I had to, fix how everything's displayed on my chart. So essentially, I have it to a really, really good spot. Once I have my data downloaded, I click one button and it does everything. It creates that sheet. And then I was also working on this, where when price is around a setup area, it is automatically scanning for order flow data. And you can see when it's in there, it's searching for, specific order flow signatures. And when that shows up, let's say like the first check passes, then it gets sent off for like further analysis with very, very specific things that it's supposed to be looking for in the order flow data. And then it'll give me a green light, for entry or not. And then it will track the result of that entry, whether it gets stopped out, hits take profit, and so that it can then make adjustments on how I create these setups with the data, the risk parameters. Not only that, but then it will adjust how it's reading for, inside these areas for the order flow data. So lots of stuff. I did that. I made some adjustments to how things are displayed here on my chart here. What levels I have here. So like I have it, plotted. I have these levels plotted over here. Overnight low, previous day low, point of control, all these different things. So I switched up what I have displayed over here. Let's see, what else was I working on? Maybe that's it. But it's a lot. It takes a lot of work to do this kind of shit. But it's definitely worth it. Definitely worth it. So as I was working on it late last night, right here, I had a short setup, and I took it with one micro contract, and I caught this whole move. Like this whole move. I was only one micro contract. I was like, I'm going to bed, but I'm going to put it on. Got my stop loss. I think my stop loss was like up here somewhere. But one micro contract and caught all this move, and I woke up and I saw it, and I was like, I'm closing that shit and going back to bed. So anyway, you know, creating this thing right here to go along with my setups is going to, the ultimate goal is to eventually be able to turn this into an automated trading system so that, because I'm human, I'll make mistakes. I will also create setups that are not, these setups for the day, but I would like to have an automated trading system to where when it detects these and it gives it the green light, it'll place the order, place the stop loss, place to take profits, and then just let it go. Don't touch it. And, then I can have a hedge against my trading and, potentially just keep improving upon this system. And then every day, have, essentially a bot trader trading for me. It should have been more, but because it was just one micro, I think it was like 600 and I don't know, $650 or something like that. But the risk was so minimal. So I think my entry was down in here somewhere, but like, I don't know, my risk was like $80 or something like that. And, I made like 650 on it. Yeah, I'm such a nerd in the best way. Yeah, I definitely am, man, and I get like super jazzed about doing this kind of nerdy stuff. And like, I don't know, it's just it's something where I just have a hard time like ripping myself away from the computer. And then here's the thing, also, when you're like, neck deep in this stuff, if you like, and I've had this happen to me, you stop and then you have to pick up without finishing where you left off, and you start kind of getting lost in the sauce. And so sometimes it's like, sometimes it sucks because I am up late and I'm working on stuff, but it's like I want to finish it or at least get to a really good stopping point before going to sleep, because who knows, I might not pick it up for another week or something like that where I'm in it like that. And I would like, a lot of times when I'm really, really focused, I want to just stay in the matrix and get it done. And then, and then I can take a break from like working super hard on it. Because yesterday I was working on all this stuff for a long time, like through the afternoon, through the night. And yeah, it sucks. Like you gotta take care of yourself. You gotta have free time, but also at the same time, it's like you also got to do the shit that other people aren't willing to do. That's how I genuinely feel. So yes, sleep is one of the most important things in the world. But striking while the iron's hot when you're inspired to do something is also extremely important to me. Monster, you took a trade on NQ right after big dip and managed to make $10. Nice. Sadly, when I took that trade, NQ was still limited, and I'm glad I took profit because that shit dropped more. Okay, copy that. So I'm curious. Do you trade? What instrument are you actually trading? Looking like this is at risk for coming back down and taking this low. I mean, just look at the expansion down, expansion down, expansion down, and then grind back up. Indicative of, the long moves being pullbacks, at least right now. Yeah, what's the ticker? Yeah, just interested in the ticker because I'm not familiar with whatever it is you're trading. Because I'm just thinking about the leverage portion of it. Okay, yeah, I got it. That's right. Okay, cool, monster. Yeah, see, notice how we're kind of grinding up, and then we have these big candles coming down. It's looking just, Iger, if you got stopped out, unfortunately, but I mean, it's looking short to me. Just looking at order flow here, grind up, slam down, grind up, slam down, grind up, slam down. So right now, I don't know. It's looking like this trade is going to be offsides. I'm going to let this stop out because this is essentially like, think about this entry as, me trusting the system that I've built for entries and exits, and I'll use this as feedback. But I built this system. I should trust the system and use the system. So that's what I'm doing here. If I end up getting stopped out, it's all good. Try again now at 831 down to 780. Copy. Hey, what's going on, Frazi? Iger, yeah, Uno reverse card. Yeah. I mean, it's looking like not ideal price action. We got news coming up in 30 minutes. Well, an hour, I guess. How'd you fare this morning, Frazi? I was up super late working on some stuff and missed all this, but I did catch this whole move with one micro contract. Nice, man. This was a hell of a move here. Oh, man, I was just like, I was watching it last night, and I was not trading, but I was working on my scripts, and as I was watching this, I was like, man, this is crazy. It's gonna drive up. This was the previous weekly high up here. I was like, if this is driving up to slam down, this is just like, I just like, how to, we just choose to play a game like this, you know what I mean? Where it's just, you got to be careful when you say manipulated, right? But I don't know what else, how else to describe it. When you grind up, breaking through all the levels, no problem, sliding through it like butter, very, very controlled. And then just right here, you just undo everything you just did, And I'm not bitter about it. It is what it is. We choose to play the game, but I just, just looking how it's just really dirty, we choose to play a dirty game. That's what it comes down to. Was I out for the dump? No, I placed a short 1 micro trade. It was along in here with my stop up here. And then I was still up until probably like 4 a.m. And then I just was like, okay, well, I'm going to go to sleep and I'm just going to let it ride. I didn't have a take profit. I just had a stop loss up here, and I woke up down here, closed it, and went back to sleep. I was happy. I was happy about it. It was a trade. It was a trade set up from my sheet, because I was messing with it all night, and I had about $80 of risk, and it closed it for about 650. So it was a good trade. I just woke up and I was like, whoa. Closed it from I remote connect to my computer, so I saw it. I was like, damn. I was still sleepy. I saw what was going on down here, and I was like, I'm closing it and then going back to sleep. So that was nice. Frazi, so check out where this is. Go there, check out the new sheet. The only thing that, and I just didn't want to rerun it. I've already fixed the issue. The only thing that's not accurate on there is the overnight session. There's this little section off the regime and bias section that says overnight session plus 184 points bull. That is not correct. I've already corrected it, but yeah, check it out. That's the new state of the sheet. Or sorry, it says 346 points bull. And then last night I was working on, I was talking about this earlier, but this is monitoring, when it's around these setups. And it'll give a green light if it's detecting the correct order flow. So eventually you want to turn this into, I could potentially turn it into an automated entry or automated trading system. So I'm going to keep grinding it out.
This year we've had to lose our space. We've lost.
Hey, what's up, Lucian? How you doing? Hope trading's coming along. Yes, sir. How about yourself, man? Late start to today, but at least in this, I feel like I didn't miss much. Had some people in here going short on these. You can definitely catch some nice moves here. What is this move right here? 985. Yeah, hell yeah. I mean, 170 points there. But yeah, late start on the day, but I think that's okay. How about yourself, Lucian? How are you doing?
If I can live through this, what comes next?
Might get a big retracement here. Probably have some drawdown. I'm just going to let this play out. I'm not touching this. Took a W earlier on. Nice, man. Did you catch some of this, or were you up in here?
What comes next will be marvelous.
Oh, nice, man. Switch to your PC so you can look at charts. Copy, copy. So only see, are you at work right now or nah? Okay, okay, right on. That'd be funny. Okay, cool. Next week will be 2 p.m. to 1 p.m. Okay. Wait, 2 p.m. I'm guessing to 1 a.m. I think I got some extra shit on my chart. Let me, I'm going to refresh this real quick. I set in a trade before you ate, and it literally hit my stop loss perfectly. Then, oh man, Monster, you can't walk away, dude. You gotta be there to babysit. I'm just kidding. Sometimes the best thing to do is to walk away. Yeah, that's a bummer, man. What did you have set up? Sorry, guys. Got a friend texting me. about some stuff he's working on. That's the buddy of mine that I went out with the last weekend. His wife's really real good friends with my girlfriend, and so he works in the airport, like restaurant and bar business. I mean, he's got a really, really great job. I actually introduced him to one of my other friends that is in a really good position with a lot of major airports. It's a really tough thing to do, to have the right connections, to be the person that can put restaurants and bars in an airport, because those things are just money makers. It's not like a regular restaurant or bar, because you don't have to do any marketing. You already have the foot traffic. So essentially they go after brands, really good popular brands, to put them in the airport. Like if there's a good local pizza shop, think about that. They can put them in the airport. They'll take on the lease, and then they'll, take just a cut of the profits. And then this, the owner of whatever establishment it is, they just get free, like they don't have to do anything. They're just using the brand. And so they might have to train the staff, they don't even have to train the staff really. They have to give them their menu, and then their suppliers, and then they might have to train a chef. But everybody else is handled. It's a managed project. So essentially, the company that sets it up, my buddy, will essentially, every business they put in these airports, it's already set up for success, because you don't have marketing costs. You have low, employee costs. Usually it's a pretty small type of, space. Small costs, low overhead, guaranteed profit every month. I mean, it's insane, the difference between a regular establishment and an establishment in the airport. And then it's a huge win for the business owner, because they sit back and collect a check every month from the revenue that's generated from the business. So anyway, that's the business he's in. It's a really, really great business to be in, but he's got to travel. He's got to be out there hustling and stuff, which, good for him though, because I think it's a lucrative opportunity. But he's just talking about how he wants to, and he's a good buddy of mine. He was the guy that we were partners in the club business. We've been good friends for a long time, but he's just asking some questions about AI and how he's essentially in an industry that's run by older people that are just really behind the curve on it. So anyway, we're going to carve out some time to figure out how to essentially start automating some of his business with AI, so that he wants to set it up. And it was because I told him about it this last weekend. If you use something like OpenClaw, you can create let's say an executive assistant type of role for this AI, and then that branches out to, let's say you have a marketing arm or a financial arm, or a communications arm, and you can essentially talk to your assistant, and you can have it 24/7 being, let's say, looking out for emails. And you can build it out so that, let's say you have an inbound email from a client, you can respond, send a copy to other parts of the business. You could even have it automated to the extent where, if it's asking for, if you have a proposal that's going out, you could have it automatically, do the research on the company, customize a package for it, get their logo, put it in the presentation, customize all the information in the presentation, and then send it back to that customer. All that stuff can be automated nowadays. It's just insane. So anyway, we're going to work on helping him build out that arm of the business. Monster, you've set up OpenClaw a few times, but I don't want to pay for the API key, so I gave up because I couldn't manage to host a local AI either. Maybe because I'm a little stupid, but whatever. Nice, man. You set it up a few times. Yeah, the API stuff gets kind of expensive. But if you optimize it, if you use cheaper models for some of the more mundane stuff, you can make it manageable. I was watching some videos on OpenClaw and just seeing the price difference, optimized versus not optimized, and like not optimized, it could be like $1,200 a month. Optimized, maybe it's like $100 a month or something like that, without you being able to notice a difference. So I think a lot of it comes down to like the models you're using and optimizing, cost efficiency for like per task or per like agent. Iger, let's see if there comes more movement with the news. Yeah, we got news coming up. I might need to close this, unfortunately. Looking pretty decent here. Oh, son of a bitch. I have my futures desk account over here that I'm trading as well, and unfortunately, well, whatever. I'll take it. I had a lower take profit than I should have. That's okay. I mean, you can run free models from OpenRouter for a while, but eventually it'll say you have no credit, even though you're literally using one of the free models. And the only way to get a new key that works is delete your account and make a new one. That gets tiring pretty quick. What Monster? It sounds like you're pretty tech savvy. What were you using OpenClaw for? Might be the most muted FOMC ever. Yeah, it's looking like everything that happened here. I mean, I didn't get to use it properly. I was just testing it, seeing capabilities and what's fun to do with it. Had it open and close some stuff and run diagnostics while I was away from my setup. But besides that, that's mostly it. Okay, cool, Monster. Well, I would definitely say that, since you're new to trading, you could definitely use something like that for your back testing and just develop, just further developing your trading strategy. I mean, there is an infinite amount of uses for it as it relates to, your trading development. Hey, what's up, Leo? How are you doing today, brother? It's funny. It's funny how when you're looking at the news and it's saying that U.S. stocks fall because Iran promised to retaliate after Israel attacked a key natural gas field, but like that news came out. I suppose it lines up around 724 is when we started dumping. But this happened prior to PPI, because I'm seeing PPI being another reason for this drop as well. I always find it hard to believe when we go take out the previous weekly high or something like that, and then news causes us to drop conveniently after we hit that high. That's okay, but I should have held on to the oil short position longer. I haven't checked out oil. I'm guessing it tanked, just like gold did, just like NQ did. Yeah, let's check out oil. Pretty big move. Not gigantic or anything, but might be looking at a potential bounce right here. I don't know if I would trust that though. Seems like we probably have more downside. Could be an opportunity, but I don't know. Just considering that news is saying that stocks are falling because of the threat from Iran, I would just anticipate crude oil potentially not being out of the woods yet. But anyway, I'm just gonna hold on to this. You know, I mean, there's not. It's either gonna go to that take profit or it's coming down to the stop. I do need to adjust that. You know, hopefully this morning shook things up a little bit so that we can have some better price action. I mean, this week has been pretty garbage so far. This morning, obviously, if you guys were, involved in here, this is a nice move, decent move here. Chop. You could probably catch some nice shorts in here. But for the most part, this week's been pretty garbage. So hopefully we kind of shook things up enough to where, we can get some volatility back. Leo, I usually do 50K accounts. It's usually a pretty good mix of drawdown versus what you have to hit for the target. Considered getting some 150K accounts, but you're just kind of stuck in the evaluation stage for a while. Obviously, you just kind of increase your size, but I've had limited luck with larger account sizes. The 50K count is best because a lot of companies have 2K limit per payout. Yeah, that's one thing I'm really kind of actively trying to get out from underneath is to either have prop accounts that will allow for, like, My Funded Futures has a nice account where you can take large payouts from, either that or just pull some profits and put it into a regular funded account, like a personal funded account. Because I've had that bite me in the ass a couple times where I have, really big days, but it just doesn't even matter. It is nice because, it creates a buffer for yourself so that you don't have to worry about, the profit that you're making. You just have to worry about hitting the requirements. But it is a huge bummer, like I've had accounts where I have huge days and it's like, damn, like I want to pull all of that out. But it's a game we choose to play, I think, and so that's, it's more motivation just to see props as a way to get you to where you want to go. And for me, that's just slowly, depositing into a live funded account and then just growing that slowly so that eventually, you kind of have both things going, props and a live account, and then you can, take some bigger risks and get bigger rewards on your regular personal funded. A reasonable amount of equity for personal account, I would probably say for futures 10K. I mean, you could do it with 5K, but you just don't want to start getting down to the margin requirement limits for whatever size you're trading. I would say is the biggest thing. But probably, I don't know, anywhere between 5 to 10K probably, depending on where, like how big you trade. If you're trading micros, for sure, you could start with 5K. Yep, for sure. Yeah. I know, like I'm watching kind of from the sidelines here. I got my trade in. I'm just letting it play out. But yeah, I was watching it go down, just thinking, hopefully somebody can catch this short as it's doing it, but not myself. I mean, that was a good 60 points right there, right? Yeah. Yeah. Anybody eating anything good for lunch? That's what I'm kind of thinking about lunch right now. This is this. There's not really too much that I am anticipating doing with this market right now. I've got this trade in. I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna fade this trade and start looking short after this happened. But for you guys that are short, looking for shorts, it's looking a little convincing here that we could be potentially going to retest down here. I just don't. I'm not going to go against this trade, but I don't know that big drop and then these, this rejection up here, this rejection right here, potentially just looking like maybe it's we got sellers temporarily in control here. Lower high here, lower high here, lower high here, lower low, lower low, lower low. Let's see here. If we reject down here, then we could be bouncing, and maybe I get that take profit. Let's see. Right here is kind of where we would be looking for a potential lower low if you're short biased right here. Breakfast enchiladas. That sounds good. I've actually never had breakfast enchiladas. What does that entail? Sounds kind of like chilaquiles. Okay, enchiladas with an egg on top. Nice, man. That actually sounds pretty phenomenal. You know what else sounds good is a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. That sounds good too. I was thinking about it last night, and I'm kind of I don't have a ton of expectations for me, like really pushing, trading hard this week since it's rollover week, and the market's been pretty funky. And so I kind of lowered my expectations, for myself. So I'm not, taking unnecessary risks. And so anyway, just to let you guys know, probably won't be pushing it super hard this week. Let things kind of shake out. And then once price action gets better, then I'll get back to normal. Man, I'm not gonna lie. I for whatever reason, I've been thinking about pizza. I might just order a pizza and eat it all by myself. I don't know. That's kind of what I've been feeling. Not the healthiest choice, but it also sounds really good. That'll be option number one, let's say. Frazi, are you talking health wise or like taste wise? Are you not a fan of pizza, or are you just talking healthy? Like healthy, yeah, I agree. But taste wise, I don't know. Pizza's good. It's one of my favorites. Snobby food wise, yeah. Copy that. I get that. So it'll be option number one. I'm not committed to it. I have been thinking about a fat ass pizza though. Not gonna lie, but I'll leave it as option number one. Indian food could be good. I don't eat a lot of snobby food though. I gotta be honest. Like, I'll make myself some simple healthy food. But like as far as snobby food goes, like I'm not eating a lot of fancy stuff. Oh, really? Unless it's specialty? Like what kind of specialty? Are you like a barbecue pizza fan or something like that? I'm not a fan of barbecue pizza. I did order it a few months back and I enjoyed it. I just wished that it had red sauce on it. I feel like every time somebody gets a barbecue pizza, I'm like, let me try that. And I'll try it and I'm like, man, I miss the red sauce. I'm gonna add one of these here. Yo, what's up, brother? Thanks, man. How's your day going? Adam, I hit this whole move down and then slept during all this. Kind of lucked out, not by choice. But yeah, I caught all this move. I was up till about 4 a.m. last night. I took this short stop above here, so I had about $80 of risk, and it was like a $650 trade. Thin crust, handmade, lots of veggies, no chains, that type of thing. Damn, Frazzy. Okay, yeah, you are a little bougie with your pizza. Light sauce, man. Get out of town. Dude, I was grinding up late. Yeah, I sure was, man. I was up late. Yeah, it's my Achilles heel. I think one of the things that draws me to working late, not an excuse by the way, but just an observation. I think one of the things that draws me to working late is like if I want to get extra time in to put work in, it's one of the easiest times to do it. A lot of times if I finish, trading and Lacey's home, then I'm spending time with her. And then she might fall asleep early, and I'm like, damn, I should utilize this time right now to get some work done, so I don't feel guilty about working while instead of hanging out with her. It's you'll probably understand if you have a significant other. Like sometimes we'll be upstairs like watching TV or something, and she'll fall asleep, and the second she falls asleep, I'm done watching TV. I come work, and then she'll usually call me on the phone and be like, "What's up?" And I'm like, kind of let me get to a good stopping point here. You'd love to trade the first 2 hours of London, but kid, wife, lifestyle doesn't allow. Yeah, that's there are some good setups. There are some good setups, for the London Open. But yeah, I totally get that. I mean, you got to be up. You got to be up hella early for that. That would be too early for me. I'm more likely to still be up from the previous day than I am to get up that early. I usually wake up at 5:30 my time, but trading that London, I would have to be up. I guess it's possible, but it's like it's not ideal because then I miss the New York Open. Yeah, Adam, I feel you on that. I've slowly become a morning person, so like I wake up early and I wake up excited. I wake up, I'm like, damn, like I'm stoked to get to my day in the morning, but late at night. I definitely feel you on that. Like as far as like creativity goes and stuff, like if I'm zooming, like I want to, squeeze every ounce of that out. Like when my juices are flowing, when I'm being creative and it's late at night and I'm by myself. I put some music on and I plug into the Matrix. Yeah, Monster. I've gone back and forth with that because I used to operate off of just minimal sleep, and it's not good for you. Your brain does not function as well. But I used to do that, and then I would catch up on my sleep by like probably after building up sleep debt for like 2 or 3 days, and then I'm exhausted, and then I would have to take a nap. Like I would take like a 3-hour nap or something like that to get me caught up, and then I would feel good again, and then repeat the cycle. But after doing that for a long time, I just, started trying to prioritize sleep more. And then I realized that when I did prioritize sleep more, I felt so much better. So now I ping pong back and forth between getting good sleep, getting shitty sleep because I'm up late. Just kind of, it's a cycle I go through. But as it relates to like the time that I get late at night, sometimes like I need that. To just have that time by myself where I don't, I'm not hanging out with Lacey. I'm not doing anything else. It's like I could, and if she falls asleep at like, 9 or 10, man, there's a good like 4 hours there that I could take advantage of. Real spook. Not watching Daddy Pal speak. No, I don't. Sometimes I will. But a lot of times, nah, I would rather have the headline. It's fucked because I remember back in high school, I used to go to school with like 30 minutes of sleep and I was fine. Now I feel like a dead corpse in the graveyard no matter how much sleep. Yes, Hogwarts. I've been logging this for a minute. So I'm just gonna let it play out. Yeah, Monster. I'm sure for someone like you that's used to not getting a lot of sleep, you enjoy your time at night. You should try for like a week. No, at least a week. Forcing yourself, and it probably will take 2 weeks because you probably won't be able to sleep. But wear a sleep mask. And try and get to bed like early to where you get 8 hours and just, I don't know, just notice how you feel. Sleep is amazing. And I used to kind of demonize sleep because my girlfriend can sleep she can sleep in. It's kind of insane to me. Like this last weekend, I mean, it's not crazy. A lot of people do this on the weekends, but she woke up at like noon or something like that. And granted, we had to get caught up on sleep because we went out on Friday, stayed out super late. But anyway, I used to demonize it. But that was until I really kind of tried sticking to getting some really good sleep. And after I did that, I was like, damn, I need this for myself. Your brain needs it. Your performance will be so much better. Looking like this might stop me out here. All right, I guess stopped out of there. No big deal. I don't know if I will find another trade up here or not, because it's looking like we just created a new low. We might have some new lows coming up. If that's the case, would likely be looking up here or up here for potential shorts. I might like a re-entry here, actually. I liked that move up. We're still negative on cumulative volume delta, so I would be careful trying to take longs too if you're trying to do that. But I was seeing this drive up as a potential re-entry for me in this area. Probably just go with stops just below here. All right, so watching this area for a potential reaction for shorts. We'll go ahead and take that off. I'm not liking what I was seeing there. Probably just keep an eye on this, but if you guys are leaning short, that looks like a pretty nice reaction there. I'm just I'm not sure it's something I want to take. just yet, just because I was just thinking we were going to go long. I don't want to be just flip flopping right here without giving it a little bit of time. I'll tell you one thing. Um, I don't I don't mind missing a lot of. I mean, obviously, I would have some FOMO if we had some nice moves happen, right off the rip this morning. But man, it's nice when you limit your time in front of the screens to miss this consolidation type stuff. It can be mentally draining, watching this day in, day out. Like yesterday was super draining watching this all happened pre-market, and then this is what we had to watch for the whole day. It's kind of, mind numbing. To KPOW? I've never heard of KPOW. Oh, never mind. I gathered that after I read it. No, did not. Don't even know the headline. Let me grab Coda real quick. Just FYI, this weekend I got a fun weekend with one of my childhood friends from Houston. We are going to Vail, and we're going to snowboard on Sunday, and then we're staying the night up there, and we're going to go to a John Summit concert. I'm going to stay up there Sunday night, and so I'll probably not be streaming unless it's late on Monday, just FYI. Supposed to be 90 in New Mexico. Nice, man. That's what, I love that. That's what I'm looking forward to. Looking forward to not have to have on layers when I go outside. That sounds great. What's the temp there? To be honest, it's really good right now. It's probably let me take a look actually. 75. I love it. I love it. We've had 2 days of like 70-degree weather, and it's so refreshing to me. That's my happy place. I was talking about it yesterday. I don't need snow. I would much prefer just wearing shorts and going outside and playing. Bro, what's so funny is everyone I talk to at work, like customers, when I say I'm from Texas, they say I don't have an accent. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of people that don't have accents. I mean, my family didn't have big accents, but when you talk to people that aren't from Texas, I think sometimes they'll catch on to you saying y'all. I say y'all all the time. Frazzy, yeah, that's what I'm all about. Bluebird days. Y'all make sense though. I agree. It's efficient. You all does not. I don't say you all. I also don't say you guys, which is a Midwestern thing, right? You guys. I don't do that. I don't know. I guess maybe under certain circumstances, you guys suck. I could see myself saying that. Not you guys, but like if I was talking to a group of people that suck, you guys suck. I could see myself saying that. Y'all suck. That's a lot more natural to me. You tell them that too, just that you're Vine Mobile. Yeah, I agree. The worst is use guys. What the hell is that? Use guys. I'll tell you one thing that really bothers me. Lacey's family's, from Ohio, and I don't know what the fuck's going on with them out there, but when they say wash, they say warsh. I don't know if any guys say warsh, but it's weird. Or they call water wooder. I don't know. There's some weird shit going on out there with pronunciation. Y'all, copy that, Adam. I've when I first moved out here, I would have a lot of people that would repeat it back to me. I would say y'all, and they'd be like y'all, and they were confused by it. I don't know. Got some passive selling. They're stepping down a little bit around, and we got another passive seller here at 25,808. Let's see what happens here. Man, I'm gonna get on some food though. Yeah. New Jersey. Yeah, I agree. Their own language up there. I think I should buy QQQ for a long-term port, or I think it's just the start of a downtrend. Hogwarts, I don't know. You're talking about options. Looks like a potential rejection up here. It was looking very long trendy until this morning. I could see us coming to the bottom of this range here, but I wouldn't base your decision off of what I'm saying. I'm just talking about when I'm looking at the futures market. I see it reject from an area like this with a huge swing down. I'm anticipating that we potentially go touch the bottom of this range at the very least. I don't know. Labor market. See, we want to see continued progress on housing services, finally seeing goods inflation come back down and get help from non-housing services. The labor market is clearly not a source of inflationary pressures. It is frustrating that non-housing services inflation hasn't come down. We're in a difficult situation. We have to balance risks. We don't want too restrictive a policy because of downside labor market risks. Disinflation in goods is not coming from restrictive policy. We're waiting for the tariff pass-through. Looks like a lot of blame game going on. Policy rate is high end of neutral or mildly moderately restrictive. I would not say employment is more at risk than inflation. I would not say employment is more at risk than inflation. I don't know. It seems to me like kind of some blame game going on right now. Your multi-billion-dollar idea, the small chips in Doritos bags at the end, everyone loves them. They should make bags of just those in them. I'm not going to lie. When I was a little kid, I used to crush up bags of Doritos and pour them in my mouth. I don't know if that's a product idea, but I used to do that as a kid. I think it's because you get the maximum amount of flavor per, like it's dense, instead of having a chip that breaks up into a couple crumbles, you're able to put like 8 chips in your mouth if it's all crumbled up. Call the walking taco now. Yeah, I used to get, we didn't call them walking tacos. I don't know, we didn't even have a name for it, but we would have Doritos. Like when I went in my high school, we used to put, chili and cheese on Doritos. But we used to also do it with Fritos, and we would call those Frito pies. But my girlfriend, where she comes from, they would call them walking tacos. And I guess it's the same. Maybe the difference is it's not just chili, it's kind of taco meat. I'm actually a huge fan. But Frazi, I figured you'd be too bougie of an eater to eat walking tacos or Frito pies. And Adam, I figure you would say hell no to chili on Fritos or Doritos. It's too saucy. You have weekdays? Funnily enough, I actually got the stuff to make Frito pies because I was craving it. I don't know, it was probably a month ago or something like that. U.S. interest rate decision, actual 3.75, forecast 3.75, previous 3.75. Okay. All right. So no change. You're 1,000% doing that in the future. Have your own chip flavors. Make the bag to where you can easily pour in your mouth and use your hands. It's the simple ideas that make a lot of money. Are you talking about you're going to do that in the future? Like you're going to make a product that's like chip crumbs? Cincinnati chili seems wrong though, but never had it. I don't know what Cincinnati chili is. I'm going to have to look that up. Okay. Cincinnati chili is a unique thin spice meat sauce. Not a traditional chunky chili created by Macedonian immigrants known for Mediterranean. Cinnamon, cloves, and allspice. Okay, hint of chocolate. It's a little. It's not. I believe I've had that before. It's a little sweeter. I actually won a chili making contest in Austin, Texas. It was like the chili that I make is usually very spicy. Like I'll typically use habaneros, and then a little bit of like dark beer, just a little bit, just a little hint. But yeah, I make some good ass Texas style chili. Holy shit. 3D printers that print plastic molds and stuff. Yeah. Just saw a video of a glass 3D printer. Damn. That seems pretty cool. You need one? Yeah. I'd always talk about food. I'm getting hungry, dude. I'm starving. All right, bro. I have to head back. Amazing trades. Thanks, brother. Appreciate that, man. Take care. Chat with you later. Yeah, chili sounds really good right now. Oh yeah, and they also do that Cincinnati chili on spaghetti. Okay, all right. That I think I missed that. So that I was looking at the kind of flavor profile, but yeah, Frazi, you were probably talking about the fact that they put it on spaghetti. I would probably eat it. I don't know. All right, some absorption down here. What time do we got? 2:55. Absorption down here. Maybe we might get a potential bounce from here. I might give it a shot. And if this fails here, this will probably be my last long trade. You already ate pizza? Now you're getting hungry, dude. I was craving pizza pretty hard until Frazi shit all over it. Let's see, what does sound good though? All right, so we got absorption and we got some buyers trying to push this up. Looking like buyers might not have it in them. They got aggressive there, but they didn't do anything. Looking like sellers pushing this thing down. Again, if I get stopped out of this, will probably be my last long that I'm going to try for the day, and might have to look for shorts. Okay. Time to figure this out. Buyers having a really hard time right here making any progress. It's looking like every time they push up here, they're just getting absorbed. So kind of expecting a flush out of this area. And I don't know. I'm not going to take action on it. If we flush and then bounce, unfortunately, it's kind of looking like that could be the case. Even if we're just bouncing to go re-short out of this little tight consolidation after this big seller, it's looking like a flush and then potentially bounce from down here. But we could just keep going down. And then maybe if we retrace back up here, we could just hit that and keep going down. But a lot of times when you see this kind of thing that fails, it can happen the actual bounce happens after a flush. But I said I'm not going to take another long, so I'm not gonna. I'm just going to figure out what I'm going to eat here. Definitely looking like sellers are going to just swipe this, push it down and flush, and they'll get it where they want it to go. Yeah, bummer. Let's watch it. Let's watch the reaction after that. Seller's still looking strong, so that was not quite the flush that I was anticipating. See buyers trying to push it up here. Still not looking super clear, but it's looking possible that we could bounce from here. And that's, one of the downsides trying to front run a move like this. I don't understand how that works, because normally trading NQ contracts, it's $20 a point. So if you're trading two, it's $40 a point. So going from here to like 4 points would be $160. Like this tiny move right here would be $160. Tempted to have fajitas. You can see that we got a pretty big move from buyers right here. If you're looking at cumulative volume delta, look at this versus where we are. Big push from buyers, not a lot of movement. So we got some absorption happening right here. Here comes the bounce. Unfortunately missing it. That's okay. No FOMO. Sorry, I'm just going to get some food on the way. All right. Is this a reversal? I mean, we've got a pretty hard push from buyers here. Pretty damn hard push. A retracement down here could be a potential long. But right now, I'm kind of just waiting to see up here if we're gonna find some resistance up here. I will say though, if you look at this push from buyers, it's pretty significant. Nice, man. That was good. I had to punish myself for trying to front run this, and so I couldn't enter, but I wanted to enter down here as well. This right here is looking a little reversey to me. Absorption down here, push from buyers failed. One more swing down, and then we get a big push from buyers. It's looking a little reversey to me. This to me would be like a more valid long entry down here instead of trying to front run this. Basically, since it's tokenized, not actual contracts, since Mexi is a crypto-focused platform that provides tokenized versions I trade 50K USDT, which is 2 NQ if the order is calculated in NQs. I'm glad that we removed the limit because the limit was 0.38 NQ. Okay. Okay. Tokenized NQ. Could have a long entry up in here or down here. Most significant bullish push, I would say, until back here or over here. So I don't know. This could be a nice reversal point. So I don't know. I need to stop trading some days and only go on sim. Been making, yeah. You need 70 first. Yeah, right here. Yeah, 70 just got hit. Might have a lower entry down here. I might go in. I know I said I wasn't going to go in long, but what I really meant was I didn't want to front run anything until I had proof that this could be going long. So I might want to take this long if we get down here, maybe around 750. I'm kind of liking that reaction there. Let me pull up my footprint. Looks like we might come down just a little lower. All right, let's give it a shot. This coming down all the way down here and not finding the ability to bounce up. We do have buyers here. I can see it at 24,762. I can see them trying to push this thing up, but not really having a lot of luck. Yeah, this would be a big upset if they take out these buyers right here. I mean, all this so far looking kind of bearish, right? We haven't found any support down here. Yeah, Iger, would be curious to know what your take is on it. These buyers disappeared. Come on, guys. Yeah, Iger, feel free to share what you're kind of going through on your trading that makes you think you need to stop some days. Maybe we can help you kind of work through a process that you can create for yourself. Having a tough time here. Was kind of really hoping we would tap one of these areas here and then kind of shoot off here and seeing really aggressive buyers defending this area. So far, not so much. Seeing them kind of pop their head in just a little bit here at 767, but not inspiring a ton of faith. I'll give it to this low. Yeah, there were dyers at 957 that just completely disappeared. We might not have fully tested this area yet, but I'm hoping it doesn't do what it did here, and just plow through where it looks like we previously had support, where this could be a potential bounce. If these sellers just keep drilling, that might be the case here. Let's see. Maybe they'll pop up. Let's see. You had 700 profit today, oversized after it. Okay, copy that. Iger, I'll tell you what. So is one of your problems going from green to red? We see a little bit of support down here, 24,759, and just below we got a couple of buyers, a couple of passive buyers. I don't think we've been tested down here just yet. Yeah. All right. So you should have just closed the charts. It's a really tough thing to do, Iger, unless you have a system that's like rule-based in place to close the charts. So for instance, when is enough enough? You know what I mean? If you have one of the easiest ways to do it that makes it automatic is have a trailing max daily loss. What platform do you use? This is going to make me regret taking this long. That's okay. We're chilling. We're having a great time. My Funded Futures. What platform though? So that's who you trade with. It looks like these buyers were nothing. Deep charts. Okay. What risk management settings do they have? Do they have a trailing max daily loss? That's the question. Kind of looking like sellers are in bulldoze mode right now. Thing is, if you get deep charts with Funded Futures, I didn't know because they advertising different. They don't get the full version, so I have very few settings. Okay, copy that. Well, okay, let me try and explain kind of where my head's at with trying to fix your issue. So I think what you need to do is like sit down and think about a system like where you have a soft profit target. Let's say it's $600, right? So you have a soft profit target of $600, and if you hit $600, you are only allowed to risk half of that. You can split it up however you want. So if you want to take small trades, with one micro, and each trade equals $50 or $100, whatever the case may be, you can break it up however you want. But you're only allowed to risk that $300. So if you drop down to $300, you have to shut it down. Now, the next challenge you face is how do you enforce that? So if you had a trailing max daily loss, it would be a $300 max daily loss once you hit 600, where it trails at $300 behind. That's how you would do it, if Deep Charts has that. Now, if you are committed enough to doing it, you can find a way. And there are services that will block Deep Charts. If you use the web version or if you use the app version, you can get creative with it enough to come up with a system where it will automatically lock you out and you cannot open it up again until tomorrow. That would be one way of doing it. And it makes it foolproof because it happens automatically. But even just sitting down and taking the time to think about what is that system going to be could be good enough for you. But I do know that, could probably be a challenge sticking to it. All right. Longs are not working. That'll be the final try I have on longs. But you know what I'm saying, Iger? That I took NQ today short from 2580. Yes. Why did I not keep it? But again, I'm gonna be real with you. The reason you did not keep it is because you don't have a system that allows you to keep it. Oftentimes what happens as traders is we find ourselves doing the same thing over and over again. And then we end up getting a positive feedback loop because doing it a specific way sometimes will work out and we get high off of that. But if you don't have a system that prevents you from doing it, like you have short-term memory loss when it comes to this kind of stuff. So next time you're in the same position, you'll do it again unless you have a system. So that's what I would encourage you to do. And I'm happy to talk to you, Iger, offline as well, because I've had to deal with that monster as well with myself. Until you create some sort of concrete system for yourself, it's going to continue to happen. And I know through experience. Yeah, it will get you. But just remember what I'm saying. If you don't create a system for it, it'll continue to happen. You can think about it all you want. You can, think about the reasons why it should have made so much sense that you stop at $600. But until you actually have something in place that's concrete and you spend actual time like dissecting yourself and the bad habits that you have, until you take that time to actually do it and not just think about, oh man, this sucks that when this happens, I should never do that. You can think that all day long, but nothing will change until you create a system. Yeah. So, Iger, what I would encourage you to do, and sorry you're going through that, and I know what it feels like. It sucks, but like really, really, put pen to paper, and you've got to think about how you can conquer. Like, it's not just like I should do this. It's like, okay, how do I create a system that I have to do this? Because you can say, well, next time I'm at $600, I should stop. But so far that doesn't work. So how do you create something that's foolproof? This is looking so dumpy right now. And so, like, anyway, Iger, I know that, what you're going through is tough, with that kind of stuff. But, like, sit down with a piece of paper or type it up on the computer. What is it, what is it that is your biggest challenge with stopping at a specific point? What are some rules that would allow you? And I know what the biggest problem is. It's that we all want more. Yes, you need to make a plan to beat it. Don't just like be pissed off at yourself, make a plan to beat it. But the reason it's so difficult is because we are geared toward not following this kind of rule because we always want more. And with trading, there's never a good gauge of when is enough enough. So while it's not, I don't think the best long-term solution to just say, well, if I hit $400, $500, $600, just stop. It can be a good short-term solution, to just say, if I hit $600, I close it up. Or I would imagine in deep charts, you probably have a risk setting that says, once I hit this amount, it closes out my trading for the day. That might be your temporary solution, but at the same time, like being able to have large days is part of what makes successful traders successful. So it's not a good long-term solution. It could be a nice short-term solution until you find a good solution. But the point is that you've got to have something, whether it's mechanical, technology-wise, you create your own script, you dig into deep charts and understand what the, whether there's trailing max loss, a profit target, lock you out type of setting. So you've got to look at that and you've got to say, I'm not going to trade until I have a system in place. Yeah, greed is definitely a big factor. But you've got to think you've got to think about how you're going to approach this strategically. And it's definitely one of those, like, if you set that $600 soft target and you hit $600 as a soft target, even just thinking, okay, well, now I have $300 that I can trade with. And if I go over that 300, I have to stop. All right, cool, Monster. That looks like a decent level there that we could bounce off of. I'm having a hard time just imagining a bounce coming out of this right now. But yes, I think that if we weren't in this big sell-off with all this momentum where we're just ripping through buyers, I would be looking at that level and saying, yeah, I could see that potentially being a bounce, maybe lower. I'd be looking at the lowest low as a potential bounce area, so closer to 24,350. Iger, yes. So you can have a profit max, but it locks till next day. That's what you want, isn't it? Monster. So you're seeing we have a little reaction out of here. If you are feeling like this is a good setup and you like it, I don't want to discourage you from taking it. But you know, I've been burned trying to take this thing long, and sometimes when it's in this mode, it doesn't stop. So if you're looking to take this bounce, I think front running it is dangerous. This was dangerous because normally I'd be looking at this being like, okay, well this looks like a nice long opportunity. Had everything, you know, in this price action here that should have led to a nice reversal, but the trade lost. We had absorption here, buyers here, absorption here, buyers here, a big push up, imbalance created, break of structure, a revisit down here, but it just melted through it. So that is an indication that, and what happened over here, taking this low out, like it's just an indication that sellers are really liquidating right now. Yeah, I have to set it, but I have to set it realistically. What does that mean? Last two Asia sessions was 200, 300 profit each, and today I made even more. Almost lost all of it. Buyers tried to hold 710. I mean, not too high, not too low. Yes. Yeah, and again, I think that that's a solution for the time being, but I don't think it's a long-term solution. I think it's a solution until you can figure out what the long-term solution is. Right now, at the very least, it will prevent you from, you know, going through what you've been going through. But but you really what you want is you want to have some structure around it. If I hit this, then I have to dial it back, or I can only risk this amount. That way I can still go for, you know, maybe I got 600 today, but I want to go for 1,000. I can still go for that, but I got to have some risk parameters around that. I can't be allowed to just go for it and go on tilt and then lose everything that I've made. Yeah, Iger. So that's one of the things I'm talking about. It's not a long-term solution. So you're going to have to come up with a long-term solution. You could very easily come up with a script that locks you out after you hit your soft target. Like, you have a soft target of 600, and then you have a script that says, if I lose 300, lock me out. And then if I get to 900, now if I get to 450, lock me out. Or you can customize it however you want. You just got to put the work in. And that's what it comes down to. Just like, you just don't want to be one of those traders that knows the problem that you have but does nothing to solve it. The technology exists out there right now where if you can think of it, you tried some things to solve it, that sounds defeatist. It sounds like you're making excuses, Iger. I'm sorry I'm being harsh, but this is the way you need to be talked to if that's how you're talking. Part of what we have to do as traders is not try some things that don't work as it relate, and this is only related to like our problems that we have from a psychology standpoint. What I say is you tried things to fix it. These didn't work out. I need to find something that helps me overcome it. Yes. What things did you try? What's up, VMS Viper? Thanks for the follow. Welcome. We don't have a lot more time here, do we? What do we got? 30 minutes? I might, if I can find one short to take, I might take it. Maybe up here, maybe up here. A lot like setting a max limit for the day or typing up on my computer and saving a document so I can read that, and that reminds me where I can be if I stay on track. Yeah, I'm interested in a short VMS. Okay. Well, you know, I don't want to criticize you for trying that stuff because you did try, and that's what you should do. So that didn't work. I made a promise that if it goes bad, I go out with the dog. Yes. Okay. The challenge with having those kinds of solutions is that it's all on you to make that decision to do that in the moment, right? So like if everything goes bad, then you'll go out with the dog. So a couple of different responses I would have to that. One is that it makes it easier to abide by those rules whether you win or lose. Like, so for instance, it helps a bit, you know, but as soon as you get into it, you're just on the same point from before. Yeah, I understand what it's like, and you kind of go on tilt, and you want to revenge trade and all that stuff. So for you, I would, and going back to the dog thing, here's what I would say is that if you have a response to, you know, losing consecutive trades and you want a revenge trade, what if you're trying to have, you know, take on that responsibility of making a decision to go out and walk the dog after you take a losing trade or something like that, it makes it 10 times easier if you actually have that response after every time you close a trade, not just when you lose. It's every time you close a trade, you do something. That way, every single time you do it, you're reinforcing that habit, not reinforcing the negative habit of not doing it. So every time you do it, whether it's positive or negative, you do it. So that's one thing, but it's very difficult. Yeah, exactly. So it becomes automatic. Yeah, I understand. So it gets routine. You get automatically off the chart. Yeah, and not in a bad way. Yes, exactly. So that's one way that you could approach it. But I would recommend for where you are, VMS, you trade the market. Don't let the market trade you. Yeah, don't play yourself. Don't let the market play you. I completely agree. Don't let it play you. Sorry, VMS, I missed you did a good Bitcoin short earlier. Now I'm on US oil long. Nice. I was just checking out US oil before, thinking we could have been, holy shit. This is where it bounced from whenever we were looking at it, and I was like, this could bounce from here. Anyway, I also said that I wouldn't want to take that bounce because I could see it continue going short. So it's not like I have, hindsight FOMO because I said I didn't want to take that. But in any case, I would recommend, Iger, that you make it a technology-based solution for now. It's got to be very, very strict. It's got to be automatic so that you don't have to make the decision. So what I would recommend, Iger, is that, and this is just what I'm thinking off the top of my head. You have a tracker that you create a script, and I'm happy to help you create this script. You have a tracker that tracks your P&L for the day. And it's always keeping a high water mark and a low water mark. It's tracking your trades. It's tracking your P&L for the day. And if it ever, let's say you hit that 600, if you ever drop to half of that, we can customize it however you want. But if you drop down from 600 to 300, from 800 to 400, or you can make it 800 to 600, 800 to 550, whatever the hell you want. If that happens, it completely locks you out of your trading platform, period. And we can do that. You can create that. I can help you create that. Yes. And I would be happy to help you create that. So why don't you put some thought into it? what you would like to see out of this, and I'm down to like hop on Discord and help you create this thing, so that you can start making actual progress toward chipping away at this challenge that you have. And I've been through it. I totally understand it. I myself created a script that would track my P&L so that this very thing would happen. Mine was more like I wanted to catch myself from losing consecutive trades one after the other, so I would stop revenge trading. And so I had a script that was watching my P&L, and if I took 2 consecutive losses very quickly, I would lock myself out. And it would take control of my mouse and keyboard and lock myself out. Iger, that's okay. Like I said, I can help you create this. And Long right now, nice monster. You ended up taking that. Cool. I don't blame you. Well, I shouldn't say I don't blame you, but I know you saw your setup. And so, like, if you see your setup, and you got to trade with your heart. But yeah, Iger, so understand that if it seems too far out there to create an app or a script like that, it's not. We could probably get this done in an afternoon. Yeah, I mean, it's still looking like sellers are bulldozing. So I would be looking for that retracement up here and looking for a short up there, but we might not even get up there. VMS Viper, it happened to me a lot earlier. Just make a strategy, stick to it, and improve. Yeah, I mean, the challenge Viper is that there are times when you don't stick to it. And when you don't stick to it, you need to create a system that allows you to not, that prevents you from doing that kind of shit. And it's easier said than done, because like we're all stubborn people, and we're going to do what we're going to do. So sometimes we need to have guidelines. And that's one of the things about trading that makes it great, is that we can do whatever we want. But it's also one of the most dangerous things about trading, is that we can do whatever we want. This looks like it could dump some more. Unfortunately, it's missing me, but I just got to be patient here. Might not have a trade set up. Kind of looking like this next candle or the following candle could make another expansion. Get 30 points or something. Iger, are you on Discord? Are you on the Discord? I don't know what your screen name on Discord is, but shoot me a message on Discord. I'll hop on today and help you with this if you want. Yeah, I got you. Viper. No problem, Viper. Oh, there it goes. I was additional. What was it? 700 to 670, 72, about 30 points. Yeah, Monster, every once in a while we want to catch some knives. I totally get it. I tried to catch a couple knives today myself. So, this, okay, here's what I would say. After we broke this low, trying to catch this low, you know, even though like I don't want to look back on this and say like this did look like a potential good setup. I wasn't taking it out of nowhere. I saw, you know, this absorption buyers, and I tried to front run right here. So after this sweep, it could have, you know, it could have worked out. Could have been a good trade. I would say this was, out of the two trades I took here trying to take it long, this was the worst trade. This trade right in here, this had more confirmation to it, but it still failed. So when you have these kinds of things happening, Monster, this is what, you know, this is for you. When you have these kinds of things happening where you see this happening, you see a big push up by the buyers, you see a long setup fail from here. It should be, when things don't happen, it should be a signal to you that things could be ugly for bulls, and long setups might not work, period. So that's what I would say as a takeaway. You know, you trying to take this long, you had your level, and I think it made sense for you to try that long. So don't beat yourself up about it. You took a long, I looked at your chart. It looked like a decent setup. You're looking at the higher time frame. Everything was aligned. But I think the takeaway for you should be that when you see this kind of stuff happening and these bull setups, these buy setups failing, it should be a warning sign, so that normally if you would jump in that trade when it hits your level, when you see this stuff happening, it should be an indication that you should wait. Let's see how it reacts in this level. Don't try and predict that it's going to bounce from the level. Wait for evidence for you to hop in, and you're going to need that evidence to be damn strong, I think, after all this. That would be, no, you're not dumb, man. You were following your setup, and it makes sense. But I guess what I'm trying to point out is just that there are a few different market conditions, that you don't want to just front run against, and this is one of them. This is a very, very controlled liquidation right now happening, and I can say that. In hindsight, I tried to, catch some of these falling knives, and it torched me. I took 2 quick losses in a row. And, now I have to have my hands off the long button. What do I think is of oil? Is it going all the way to 120 or 103 is the reversal? I'll tell you what, I'm not an oil expert. And I think oil can be extremely volatile considering, what we have going on in the Middle East. But kind of what I was saying after we had this big correction, this big fallout from, plus 100 per barrel, was that I wasn't thinking we were going to instantly stabilize. I don't believe that oil is instantly stabilized. I know that we got some risk management in place with reserves and whatnot, but I was thinking even prior to that big correction that if we had a correction, we would probably still see price rising up. So I'm more, again, I don't watch crude. I don't pay attention to the crude market that much, so I'm probably not the best person to ask about this, but that was my intuition, is that we're not going to be stabilizing in oil prices anytime soon. It's probably going to take at least a couple months. Yeah, keep your stop loss and profit. That's the best thing you can do, I think, in moves like this is just, if you find yourself catching some nice moves, take some profit, pull some off, trail your stop loss. I was liking this move because of this bounce we had here. Look at this volume that we had. And then that caused this nice reaction up. So I'm looking at this big bullish move right there as support for higher prices. And Viper, just to be completely honest with you, I'm typically looking for intraday swings that I can take advantage of. So I'm more looking for moves like this rather than what's going to happen over the next month. Real spook, not to sound like a smartass, but the Powell pressure and what he says there has more power than a setup, unfortunately. Personal experience, and today I already caught enough knives to only look for shorts the moment he said shaky things. That's why I said I'm dumb. It's been bearish the whole day. I should have been so confident in a long while the market was. Yeah, I mean, you're talking real spook. You're talking about Powell being neutral on everything. Yeah, I mean, if we're talking about the impact of news, macroeconomics, and versus a setup, that's why you will see setups fail. And to me, I wouldn't say there was anything that Powell said, at least based on what I read, that should have been hugely impactful to the market. I think this sell-off, here's what I think as it relates to the sell-off we're getting right now, more than what the impact of what Powell said than anything, I think it was this. I think we had a shit ton of trapped buyers over the past week that were looking at this bounce as a bullish move, potentially negating the impact of the war with Iran. We've been consolidating here. They're looking at this move, and this looked really bullish. I don't know if you guys were watching it, like what this candle looked like overnight. Really bullish. So coming into this previous weekly high up into this gap here, it was looking like we could explode up and go again for all-time highs. So I think we had a lot of people loading up over the past few days trying to take this move up. And this big slam down, whatever the cause may be, whether it's Iran trying to target our oil, or what was the other thing? Let me see. We had a couple news items that said, that said that it caused this big downturn in the market today. The fact of the matter is when you have a drive up like that, especially, look at these multi-day drive up, considering where we are and where we could go, looking at this as potential support to then go to all-time highs, and you got people loading up. This created a springboard on the top side to shoot down and instantly reverse after we got that bad news. And now it's not just the reaction of the news, it's the reaction to the move, where people are panic selling now that are long all the way from down here. So yeah, some of it news, some of it is positioning, I think. And I think a lot of this sell-off was intentional. I think the cause of the sell-off is intentional. Semi-neutral, but the main takeaway was not positive, to be honest. Yeah, I would agree with that. Natural gas fuel in Iran being hit by Israel. Yes, agree. So yeah, that news alone that causes this sell-off makes today extremely bearish, considering where we're coming from. And but yeah, Monster. I mean, I mean, you can see here, even though it wasn't the predominant move, if you're trading this long, you could catch some of these long moves, and it wouldn't surprise me if we get a bounce from down here. But to Spook's point, and the point I was trying to make is that when you see these setups failing, it's painting a broader picture that there are kind of forces in the market that don't care about setups, at least bullish setups. I mean, you catch short setups all day long in this. Oh, all good, Iger. Yeah, no worries. Sounds good, man. Just hit me up on Discord. If you want to hop on today, I'm down to do it today. Otherwise, over the next couple days is cool. Also, Monster, I would say, like, today's one of those days where it pays to be a trend trader, and sometimes it's a tough lesson to learn when you're contrarian. You're looking for bounce moves and stuff like that, and this is something that I've had to, train out of myself, is to only be contrarian. Sometimes, like, I mean, if let's just look at this price action today. Take out all of this. Pick from this point on. And choose any area on the chart where you might have a potential short setup, even if you get a shitty entry. It works out. And so what you have to do is you've got to think about how you normally trade, which is like you're looking for potential bounce areas, reaction levels. Like I was looking for reactions down here because this is what my data says. But we've got, Spook, to your point, when you got macroeconomics working against you, these levels are not going to work as well, right? So pick any area on this chart that you would go short at, and if you hold it long enough, it'll work. So you got to really ingrain that in your mind and then the next question is, how do you identify a trending day? And then how do you take advantage of it? And then how do you get it out of your head to try and take bounces? So how do you identify a trending day? I mean, there are a lot of different reasons or a lot of different ways to do it, but just looking at simple structure, the highs that are created are never broken. We got a high here, high here, high here. These are never broken. Look at this high, and then look what remains for the rest of the day. This high right here. So never broken. So this can be an indication that you are in a downtrend. Being below VWAP can be an indication that you're in a downtrend. And it's a tough thing to wrap your brain around because there are a lot of times where you're trying to take mean reversion trades where you are below VWAP, but you're anticipating a bounce. So then the question becomes, how do you know you're in a real hard downtrend and, you should not take bounces? I would say one of the indications for me is when you see long setups fail. And I know that takes failing at doing it, but look right here, this big buyer that pushed price up and then coming back, revisiting here and just melting through. I was wanting to take this long here. And it melted through. That should be like, okay, these long setups that's like number one. This breaking this high, coming back here, not being able to revisit that high, should be number two. So now we're below VWAP. Long setups aren't working. Cumulative volume delta is negative. There are also some things you can do with like the ticker. There's some other sort of things you can do that looks at like the breadth of market, the overall market, looking at each individual stock, but looking at the ticks per individual stock that are they net positive or net negative. things like that you can do, but you'll probably have to figure out what's actually going to work for you. And then, obviously looking at the order flow, seeing that it's negative, and obviously all this is hindsight because yes, I was trying to take bounces from here. But what I'm trying to do, Monster, is help you identify when you have these market conditions. It can be helpful to identify it so that you can throw a dart at the chart and go short, and you'll make money. And I didn't do that today. It's a bummer. I caught this big short here, so I have this to fall back on and say, yeah, I traded with the trend here. I took a short, but then got to the charts around here and was trying to take bounces. So I guess the point is, Monsters, you want to figure out what it is that you can have on your chart or in your analysis that will allow you to potentially see these days and get on the right side of the moves. And that's it. You got an idea? What is it? Let me know what the idea you have is. I think I'm going to close up the stream, y'all. It was a short one for me. Not a great day, I would say, but I would say good price action. I mean, can't complain about this, to be honest. Compared to what we've had, Monday and Tuesday, this is phenomenal. So I'm not, at least for myself, not being able to take advantage of this is a little bit of a shame. I was looking in the wrong direction. I'm making a list that I will force myself to answer before a trade, and that will decide if I'm being stupid and just shouldn't enter, or if I'm allowed to enter a trade. That will probably boost my win rate. Yes, I think that's a phenomenal idea. Now, the challenge is going to be sticking with it. But I think it's a great idea. If you can find a way to stick to that, I think it'll help you. Yeah, the market just closed. I don't know if we're going to get any good moves out of here. I wanted to take a short if I could get an opportunity to take a short. Like if we came back up here, for instance, or up in here, I would take a short. But we couldn't pull back. I didn't find any good opportunities here, unfortunately. Up here, that would have been ideal. Right after I got stopped out, trying to take a long, this short would have been nice. Hindsight's 2020. Frazi, you asshole. Yeah, Monster. I'll be on Discord though. Feel free to hit me up if you're still on. But yeah, guys, hope you had a good trading day, and let's look forward to crushing it tomorrow and Friday. Now we got FOMC, PPI out of the way. Let's crush it. I think we're gonna have some good price action ahead. Let's get it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Not planning on staying up late, so I'll probably be on at the market open. Peace out, y'all. Wait, let me see, Monster. If I don't stick to it, I'm not allowed to have a Monster for a day, honestly, and that will do. You gotta have those consequences, man. All right, peace, y'all.